Oh, budding bakers today it is somebody's birthday. Somebody's birthday in the world today. So what are we doing today? We're doing a birthday cake. So first of all, I am going to have a shout out. Anne Falvey, thank you for watching me every day for the last 52 days. Anne Falvey has a beautiful granddaughter, Amelia. She's 2 today. Happy birthday, Amelia, you're 2. This cake I'm going to dedicate to you for today. All the birthdays out there, all the mums, dads, everyone stuck at home, and if you can't think of something for a present, chocolate cake is the answer to everything. Now may I add, I am also wishing my super brother-in-law Gary of Flaherty a happy birthday. Gary is not 2 today. Happy birthday, Gary! So I am starting with my trusty Kenwood mix. If you haven't got a mixer, you can actually do this by hand, but I don't because I let my Kenwood do all the hard work. So, for starters, we have got 325 grams of brown sugar. The reason for the brown sugar is this cake has a sort of a spring-sprongy, chewy, fudgy texture to it. It is divine. We have got 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder. We have 250 grams of plain flour. We have a teaspoon of bread soda. We have 2 eggs. We have 185 grams of oil. We've got 80 grams of cocoa powder. We've got 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. We have 250 mils of buttermilk. And we have 125 mils of very strong coffee. Can you imagine, Trish, without coffee? Life is coffee. So the reason for the coffee, it enhances the flavour of your chocolate fudge cake. So to start with, in go our dry ingredients. I am also using the whisk. Even though you can use the batter on your K-mix, I am using the whisk because I'm whisking all these ingredients together. In goes my brown sugar, followed by the dry ingredients all together. In goes my 250 grams of plain flour, 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of bread soda, and I have 80 grams of cocoa powder. Now, it will make a difference if you get amazing cocoa powder, it will reflect in your cake. So the cocoa powder I actually use is this gorgeous cocoa powder. It is very cost effective compared to the small cartons of cocoa powder you get in supermarkets. By bulk is much cheaper, and I get that from Peter. Thank you, Peter, out in Bake World. So we have our liquids left. So to begin with, in goes our whisk. And all I'm doing is I'm whisking the dry ingredients. I've got my wet ingredients. I've got my buttermilk. I've got my oil. I've got my vanilla extract. Thank you, Lazy Susan. Out of the way, we don't need you now. So, we've our buttermilk. So, the oil goes into the buttermilk. Here as you go. The eggs go into the buttermilk. Here as you go. The vanilla extract. In it goes. Kaboom, boom, boom. I love a tidy work surface, especially on a Sunday morning. Sunday morning. Whisk. And in goes my coffee. I'm telling you, it's a life changer adding coffee to this cake. You do not taste it. So, in this goes. So, I also have to give a shout out to my Lucy Lou, who's doing the filming, who so does not want to do it this morning at 10 o'clock on a Sunday morning. Like most teenagers, they're in bed. Giving that a good old whisk until all lumps and bumps and everything else are out. And you can smell that gorgeous waft of coffee, but you can't taste it. But look at the batter. One last whisk. Last whisk, grab my spatula. Thank you, K-Mix. You've been amazing. That is it. Now, I'm going to show you how wet that batter is. And do you remember me telling you that the wetter the better the batter for gluten-free? So you can certainly do this cake gluten-free. It is an amazing cake for gluten-free because it is a very wet batter. The wetter the batter, the better. Try saying that. The wetter the batter, the better. So you can add 1 teaspoon of xanthan gum, which is amazing in this cake, along with your flour and all your baking powder, gluten-free. It is absolutely beautiful. So to balance this cake, I'm going to use my scales because I want both sides exactly the same. And then I pour this delicious chocolate soup into 1 tin, making sure it's about 600. It might need more, but just at least if we start with 600. Oh, that was like the chimes of the church. Dong, ding, dong, dong. So we are at 600. Let's bring it up to 650. Let's bring it up. Let's bring it up. Now on the button 7. Then bring this back. So we want even Steven. This will go into a preheated oven, 180 for 35 to 40 minutes. This is a very soft sponge. So when you put your finger, it's like, doing, 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 you think, oh, is it cooked, is it cooked? Get a skewer or a knitting needle. Don't laugh, okay, look. This is nearly as old as myself. I use this sterile wipes into my cake, and if you use a wooden bamboo stick, a skewer, when you put your skewer in, it should come out and you should have no cake crumbs whatsoever. So this, stay with me, goes into the oven for 35-40 minutes. Alexa, set timer for 35 minutes.
35 minutes, starting now.
And what I've also done, I have done 3 6-inch cakes. The cakes that have gone in are 2 8-inch cakes. Now, I've prepared one earlier and I baked 3 6-inch cakes. So, bear with me 2 minutes while I bring my cake. So this is a quick birthday cake. I have quick crumb coated my sponge. I have made, and you'll have the recipe up on the Facebook and Instagram and YouTube at Touch of Magic 100 on YouTube. Subscribe now! So I have layered each of my chocolate sponges. I have left the top greaseproof on top. This is what us professionals use when we're stacking a cake. It's called an acrylic disc. Because when you put the acrylic disc on, as I said, I've slightly chilled the cake, and that's just to give me a little bit of wiggle room, because if I start decorating when the cake itself is soft, it's more difficult to do. Okay, so I'm putting, the denial glasses are coming on for this one. And I put my buttercream onto my cake. Now, Mary Reardon, you have a son and his birthday is coming up and you are asking about a birthday cake. This is a perfect cake to do. So again, I am slathering. Don't go mean on buttercream. The reason I am slathering is that when you put buttercream onto a cake, you move off or scrape off the excess using a scraper. And the reason you use the scraper is you get a lovely smooth finish on your cake. Now, the acrylic disc also helps me prevent inputting my fingers and indenting the top of the cake. Stay with me, Lucy. She's beginning to lose the will to live. Stay with me. I should have given Lucy a cup of coffee. She'd be fine this morning. Any teenager getting up on a Sunday morning. Thanks, Lucy. The nation loves you for it. Okay. And then we have a scraper. We've got 2, and I'm going to show you 2 alternatives. Now, we've got a baker scraper, okay? Or we have got a tall scraper. And the tall scraper and small scraper you can get in Baker's World. You can also get this tall one. They have a specific one in sugarsisters.ie. They're amazing also. and you can get these side scrapers. But the smaller ones are easier to manage when you have a height like this. If it's a double stack cake, that's where the side scraper, a long one, is very, very handy. Again, I'm not indenting the cake, and all I'm doing is I am scraping off the excess buttercream, and this is on a work board. This is not the cake board that I would be presenting the cake on. So, having a look. As I said, this is a quick birthday cake. Now, removing the top part where we've had, actually if I get my palette knife, give me 2 seconds. What did I do? Oh, when I had it out, but I didn't. It was behind me all the time. It's behind you, Trish. So, get my little knife and give it a wiggle, 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 because with this acrylic disc, all I'm doing is I'm loosening it. Do take off the greaseproof paper because you don't want to eat the greaseproof. And I'm going to remove my greaseproof. And now I'm just going to put a smear of my chocolate buttercream on top. Now, as is, you could just hand that to somebody, stick a candle on top and do happy birthday to you, Amelia is 2. So, get the top, and then our scraper just to double check, just have one more on. And here comes our trusty piping bag. Now, I will have the recipe again for the chocolate buttercream. Chocolate buttercream is normally 2 to 1. So you have got 500 grams of icing sugar, 250 grams of butter, and then you have 50 grams of cocoa butter, and about 2 to 3 tablespoons of milk. And then you beat the living daylights out of it for about 10 minutes. So if it's a hand mixer, God help you, because it is the 10 minutes. 10 minutes incorporates the air and you end up with fabulous buttercream. Be careful of the piping bag fart. Have we got one? No, we don't. We don't have a piping bag fart this morning, which is excellent. So all I'm doing then, I have a 1M nozzle. I am doing a swirl. Swirl. And I could do drip, but then if I had a drip, I don't have cream, and I do a ganache strip. And I don't have a ganache strip. A ganache strip! And then here comes the fun bit. So we put in an Oreo, put in another Oreo, put in another Oreo, Oreo, oh, followed by a bunny, because the reason for this is because some bunny loves you. And because I had it for Easter, I've hidden it from my kids. I don't even know how they didn't see that I hid it from them. We've got some Maltesers. Maltesers. Go big or go home. We'll do another one. We'll do it in 3s. And then sprinkles, sprinkles everywhere. So I'm going to leave this chill in the fridge before I remove it and put it onto a lovely dressed cake board. If you're going to do anything with regards to cakes, make sure your cake board is actually covered. So covered in melted chocolate, covered with anything, and I put a ribbon. So I'm going to put this into the fridge, not into the oven. So my little bunny is going to chill. So some bunny loves you for a birthday cake, fast and easy, chocolate fudge cake. Lads, what have I got in store for you tomorrow at 10? I'll see you then.